whilst working on something with one of my students, we were searching on the web for how to get something, a mesh like this, to sort of bob up and down through like an ocean, something like that. And this is what we came up with. We found the answer on the web, and this is the result. So I'll start again in a second, but what we have here is just a simple plane which has the ocean modifier attached. We animate the time portion of the ocean modifier, and you can see it here. We have a plane on top which is shrink wrapped to the ocean, and also inside the plane we have all the vertices. So we've subdivided this plane into added to a vertex group, just called group here. And then if I click on the object to move up and down, I'll go to the, which one was it? Not physics, here we go. The object constraint. We copy location between the object we want to move up and down with the plane, which is shrink wrapped to the ocean, and using the vertex group. The issue we do it with this way is if I click on the ocean and I tab into it, there's nothing there. I can't sort of, there's no vertices for me to play around with. You know, there's very little that I can organize. And if I select everything, you can see I can't visually see anything. Let me hide the ocean. Let's have a look. There you go. There it is there. You see, this is the original plane. And if I subdivide this a few times, and now I'll add it to, let's call this group 2 and assign, and go back to the modifiers and apply that. And I'll tab out of that, click on that. I'll go to my constraints, and instead of plane, I'll choose ocean. And instead of group, I'll choose group 2. Let's see what happens. See, nothing. So this is why we found this online. I can't pretend to have created it myself, but this is why we add another plane. And let's go back and replace that with plane 1 and group and spacebar. There you go. And if I go to rendered view and number keypad 5, and there we go, it's going up and down. There's no materials on it or anything, but you can see it works out quite well. So I'll start from scratch, but that's why we have an extra plane. So let's do new, general. Don't bother saving that. I will leave Bob here in my scene. I'll do Shift A and mesh and plane, and I won't change it or anything. I will change the name though. So double click in the outline, ocean, and I'll go to the modifiers here, and I'll go to add modifier, and we're going to, let's have a look, where is it? Deform, is it? Physics, there we go, physics, ocean, bang. Now I'm also going to bring up a new window, and I'll set this to the timeline. There we go, let's make it a bit smaller. Because if I do a spacebar now, nothing happens, nothing moves. So I'll go back to the beginning, and it's the time element that we change. You can see there's a keyframe here. And if I drag this, you'll see the ocean change. I'm not going to worry about the other options which you can play around with. You can change the scale of the waves, for example. I'm holding the shift key down now to sort of make it smaller, and the choppiness and so on, but it's the time we want. So I'm at keyframe 0, add a keyframe, bang, and then I'll move along to 300, and I'll add, well, I'll change this first to something, add another keyframe. Let's do a space bar, and you can see we've got a subtle movement there, small swell. You can always, if I roll over here, A to deselect, select all those with the right mouse click, G to move. I can always move this around, but I'm happy to have it to be nice and slow. So we add another plane, Shift A plane. I'm going to scale it up, Control A, apply scale, tab in, and it's only got 4 verts at the moment, so I'm going to press W because I'm doing a right mouse click select, so W for me gives me this, or for those of you with a left mouse click, you can do right mouse click to get the options. And I'm going to do subdivide and either Shift R to repeat or change the number of cuts. So I'm going to do Shift R, Shift R. There you go, that should be fine. Tab out. And of course, if I press spacebar, it completely ignores the ocean. Let's zoom in a bit. Spacebar again. So I'm on this plane and I'll click add modifier and it will be a deform, and we want shrink wrap. And the wrap method, fine, I'll leave that fine. So the target, I'll click on the eyedropper and I can click on the ocean, or I can go up here, click on the ocean. There you go, and you can see now it's following. And if I now press the space bar, you can see, there you go, following quite nicely. That's that bit. And then click on the person, good old Bob, and we're going to go to the constraints, add object constraint, and it was the clamp, was it the clamp 2? Which one was it? And target and plane. Oh no, was it a location? Let's have a look. No, wrong one. Let's have a look. Ah, of course, copy location. I always forget. So click on that, choose the plane. Remember, not the ocean, the plane. Set, so if I do a spacebar now, see nothing's happening. Set the vertex group. So I haven't set the vertex group, so I forgot that. So I'll go back to plane, tab in. They're all selected. Go to the little vertex, the little triangle here. Add a vertex group. I'll leave it as group. Assign. Now, if I delete something, if I want to, if I deselect rather, if I want to check that's working, with this vertex group selected, I just do select, and you can see they're all selected. So tab out of that, come back here, go back to our constraints, target is the plane again, vertex group, here we go. And now spacebar, and there you go. And he's almost walking on water. And if I go back to the ocean, let's go to the modifier and let's increase the scale. And let's change the choppiness maybe. You can see it's moving around. Let's try wind velocity. Anything happen? It's a bit small, but it's definitely moving up and down with the plane, although not a lot. So let's go back and see. The influence is fine. That is fine. That is fine. So let's see if we can get something a bit faster. By the way, the object origin is at the bottom of the feet. So I've got a shortcut on my shortcut list, Q, quick favorites, and I will do origin to geometry. And there you go, you see. Now it's the origin point, you see. So now it's moving up and down slowly. Let's go back here and deselect. Let's do G. Let's see what happens. There we go. Yeah. So let's move that back. Let's go to our modifier and let's see what else. Decrease the scale, no, increase the scale maybe, a bit better. Smallest wave, not much. Choppiness, let's try, not much. That's all right, that's all right. So it is definitely moving up and down to the waves. So there's no materials. If I go to my render view, number keypad 5, I haven't applied a material or anything else like that. And of course, if you don't want the plane to render, you can just kick it off there. Let's go back to here. In fact, let's go back to here, make it a bit faster, and let's see. See, it's not moving. Oh, you know, he is still moving. There you go, there you go, there you go. So I've disabled it or hidden it in the viewport. See, there it is, but it's still moving up and down, and I've disabled the render, so you can leave it in there if you want, just to make sure, or hide it there. And if I open up the original one, I won't bother saving this. This one's a bit faster, and let's have a look at the settings I put in here. You can see the scale, smallest wave, choppiness, you know, and the timing. I did it over 50 frames, from 0 to 50, so you can see it work. There you go. And if I click on Bob there, you can see the origin point is in the center. So that's how you can get something to move with the ocean modifier, moving up and down. And all you have to do to get it smoother is just change the numbers here to play around, and you can change the time as well. So I was going from 3 time to 7 there, you see. So just play around with the numbers and then render out the animation if you want. Of course, instead of Bob, we could have had a boat or something else like that, but that's how you can create something that seems to interact with the ocean modifier.